Hello there, this is Old Casual. I figured it was time to update you all, of those who are interested of course, on my Black Desert Online journey. As you can see on the screen, I was taking the Maegu out for some exercise around an area called the Abandoned Iron Mine. Well, honestly it doesn't look that abandoned to me, but whatever. I am currently in Mediah, after having finished the Calpheon portion of the main questline. And, of course, continuing that same questline on Mediah. Now, Mediah is just to the east of Idle, but the landscape is a little different, a little more arid, as you can see. Less grass, more dirt. But it seems bigger though. It seems like it takes longer to go from place to place. As you can see there, I was level 55 at the time, so I figured being this close to 56, some grinding was in order. It's also, I mean, it's fun. Look, I mean, just look at her go. I gotta say, I really am not regretting one bit picking the Maegu for this little trip across this game. It's mostly carried by the combat system, but just, you know, looking at it is kind of a treat, honestly. I'm not going to pretend I'm some sort of expert at combat, as you can see. I mean, I do okay, but not the most graceful of fighters. Now, for the few of you who don't know why level 56 is relevant in this game, well, it's because it's time to wake up. No, I mean, at level 56, you unlock two quests called Awakening and Succession, which, let's say, unlock. I'm not going to see the full potential of your character, but it gets you closer to that. Your character gets more powerful, and you unlock a different combat style with a different weapon. Now this seems to be among the player base some sort of landmark, so I was eager to get to that point and see what all the fuss was about. Now at this point, I was getting a little tired of grinding in this spot, especially considering that the XP that I was getting was, well, a little underwhelming. Although, I had a quest to destroy a lot more of these watchtowers, but I just couldn't be bothered to finish it. Now, as you can see, I just summoned the Black Spirit in order to enhance some of my equipment, and I've mostly transitioned to Tuvala gear. Abandoning my previous Naru gear, just as I've said. You upgrade it to a point and then you trade it in for Tuvala gear. I did happen to pick up some equipment along the way that I found was, you know, decent enough. Mostly accessories, but weapons and armor are Tuvala and are probably going to be for quite a while. Again, a little more progress on the season pass. Still far from finishing though. Now, as expected, while grinding at this point in the game, you're going to pick up a lot of trash that you probably should sell at the earliest opportunity, which is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to head to Altinova, which is the city of this region, the hub, to sell some trash and do whatever else I need. Maybe sell some things in the central market. See, but the region does look bigger, you know, more expensive than the previous ones. Well, Calpheon was pretty big too, but I don't know, it seems like there's more open space in this spot and it looks bigger. There were a lot of forests and mountains in Calpheon that obscured your view, and maybe it just didn't look as big as it truly was. And here you are, Altinova. A bit run down. Apparently there was some sort of disaster in the past. Which brings me to another thing. I mean, the main quest line, it's weird. I don't mean that in a really bad way, because it's interesting enough to get you to keep following it, even though you're not really following it to know the story, but you know, to progress in the game, to progress your own character, not the story. Because I don't know if you guys know what TV tropes is, but if you check out this game's page on TV tropes, they have a trope assigned to it, which is blind idiot translation. I think that's a little harsh, but it does explain why, at least personally for me, obviously. You follow the quest line and you know most of what's going on, but the way it's conveyed, it doesn't make me care. And sometimes the way information is relayed, I either don't absorb it at all or I quickly forget it. But again, this isn't the highlight, is not the main quest line. This is not a single player game driven by a storyline, so that's okay. You just do what you gotta do. Some parts are more interesting than others, and it is enjoyable mostly, because you know, even though it's you're either picking up items or killing mobs and bosses, and the game shines with the combat again. Time to kill some more things, as you can see. In another section of the abandoned iron mine, which is not abandoned at all, I feel like I've been lied to. In any case, let's see the Maegu zoom around a little more and kill some more things. Now it's nearly about time to face another boss fight. Now I found that most of the bosses since the Phantom Knight have been relatively easy to fight. Maybe I'm a little overpowered, but I don't think so. I haven't really made any effort to be. But bosses seem to be relatively easy to kill. Maybe I'm not as bad as a player as I think, or maybe the bosses just aren't intended to be hard in this part of the game, and since you're intended, you know, to fight them on your own, as you can see, I've taken most of his health bar by now, and maybe almost done. Here it is. See, that was quick. But I'm not. Yay! Yeah, I forgot. I had her applause in the end of that. Oh, this part is a little embarrassing. So what happened was that I checked out the Black Spirit quest quest list. Sorry, and I saw fairy something, and I had a vague memory of, hold on, I can get a fairy in the game. And I think she provides some sort of advantage. So I rushed over to the temple, where I thought I'm going to do a short quest and get the fairy. So what does this entail? Well, you gotta get some honey first. Cooking honey, specifically. Now, I thought, hold on, I left some worker dude making cooking honey back in Hell. I don't need to actually go hunt for it, because yes, you do hunt for it. You take a matchlock to the woods and you shoot honey, you know, the nests. I forgot what the honeycombs, I think it's what it's called. But I figured, you know, I'm just going to go back to the Heidel storage and pick up my cooking honey, as you can see here. And I thought, okay, I'm done. Unfortunately, I was a little distracted. So I left the storage and I pressed T because I expected the auto-pathing to take me back to the ferry since I already had the cooking honey. But the quest did not update. So the quest, the auto-pathing instead, I had alt tabbed of the game at this point. Sorry about that. Sorry to myself, mostly. So this is the Balanos Woods, as you can see, because that was this is when I realized where I was. So I decided, well, since I'm here, might as well do what she told me to, and there you have it. I rented a matchlock from one of the farms, and I started shooting at those things to pick up honey. So I gave the matchlock back, and I processed the honey into cooking honey, which is, well, at least you get life experience doing this. There you see her doing the work, putting in the work. You go, girl. So that's it. Some cooking honey. More cooking honey, because I already had it. There you go. So this time I set the waypoint myself, and again told my little horsey to take me there. So through the magic of editing, I've just arrived, and I got the honey for the ferry. Unfortunately, I was disappointed to find that there will be no ferry for me at that point. There were further quests in that line, and I decided, well, now's not the time for it. So I kept going. This time heading to the next town, well, the next destination that the quest line took me to, which is Tariff, still in Mediah. And this game, oh damn it, this town has some weird relation with the Black Spirit that I couldn't figure out. There was a child pushing a cart, or pulling a cart, which had a balloon that looked like the Black Spirit above it, but I didn't really realize what that was. Anyway, the next step in the questline took me to these guys, the Rogue Fighters. And this, well, I figured, well, this is a good grind spot for now. So it was. Time to mass murder some more of these virtual enemies. And there you have it, level 56. I was so into the combat that I actually barely noticed at the time. But I figured, okay, I just gotta finish up what I'm doing and go do those succession and awakening quests. I gotta see what this is about. Gotta find out what she does afterwards. So there you open the Black Spirit, and well, the first one that showed up was the Succession quest. It's a lot shorter than the Awakening one, and a lot simpler, and in line with the quality of the rest of the quests. but let me show you what it entails. You first go back to Tariff to talk to this lady. That sends you on your way to the rest of the quest.
The ones who desire the Calpheon book have all gone corrupt, unable to beat its power.
So this is the point where I started getting lost again, because the game starts throwing names in Korean at you, and you're supposed to like know what that means, like the Jado school and the Voodoo school. What the hell is that? I thought. I mean, unless you got a degree in Korean mythology or whatever. I'm obviously exaggerating. But it's a little jarring, but I mean, it's not particularly complex. There you go. As the Maegu, I'm imagining obviously that the quest is different for every class, because it entails something specific to the class. In the Maegu's case, the little fox thing, the fox spirit, shows up, and obviously that's something specific to her and not any of the other classes. But this is the first time I've gotten here, so I have no terms, nothing to compare it to. Some more grinding, not grinding specifically. I gotta stop calling every instance of combat grinding. They were just in the way, so I did what I had to do, against my will, of course. So the first stage of the quest, as instructed by the fox spirit, took me to this mountain temple complex, I guess, and to kill a lot of these cult members, or cultists. Then it took me to a cemetery to lay to rest skeletons who had been apparently wandering out of their graves. And because the fox is so obviously my friend, it sent me to a putrid swamp for the next stage of the quest. Now, again, I was distracted here. I had alt tabbed of the game, and I didn't realize that the auto-pathing had sent me right into the middle of the enemies. So I started getting hit. Fortunately, I tabbed back into the game in time to avoid getting killed. Found this little nook of a safe spot here. Healed a little bit and went back to the fight. These guys were a little hardier than I was expecting, but nothing to be concerned about, if not for the fact that I had been taking a lot of damage when I was just idling on my horse when I got here. Having killed enough enemies to satisfy the bloodlust of that crazy fox, I was then sent on my way to the next stage of the quest. It wasn't that far, so I took a walk, and I met a long-lost friend. And by friend I mean the backstabbing witch, that is Elezra. I actually didn't remember her name, but I do now. And she produces some sort of shadow for us to fight. Now this shadow had a bigger HP bar than I was expecting, but again, not a difficult boss fight. At least not for my character, which is, well, intent on focused on avoiding damage more than tanking it. and it's not particularly hard to do at this level. And there you have it. Now, apparently for no reason at all, my character just decided to show off for a little, even though there's no one there to watch it. So, this is the... I went into the skill screen to see what exactly was succession. And, well, you unlock a new tier of skills, which is the ones that are called designated prime skills, which is, well, there are apparently just better versions of the skills you were already using, even though you have some neat little tricks to use, but it seems that is succession. Now, I didn't take too long to experiment with it before I just decided to move on into the Awakening quest, because I just figured, well, I've unlocked one of them, let's just take care of the other. So this is where it takes you. And as you can see there, that is Wuza, which is another character that you can pick at the game start.
Was it you who called me here?
Which is, well, apparently the Maegu and the Wuza are rivals. That was news to me, honestly. I mean, I didn't... So they fight, obviously, with some neat Korean music in the background. At least I thought it was neat. But I gotta admit, I'm a little ignorant. I don't, you know, I didn't follow the game or the patch releases or the character releases and announcements, so I had no idea that these two had history. But it goes deeper than that, apparently, which will become obvious very shortly.
Your cult's doards don't stand a chance against me. Enough fooling around.
Then this lady shows up and offers to restore some of our characters' memories, which then reveals what I was referring to. Okay, maybe I cut a little too much over here, but the big spoilers is that Wuza and Maegu are sisters. They apparently hate each other's guts, but they are sisters. Anyway, I moved on to the next waypoint on this quest, which is this cave and ruins, where the Wuza already was expecting me, but doing nothing at all, expecting me to do all the work. Which is very sisterly, I suppose. So all the work in this place translate to killing these constructs that show up to get wrecked, because they don't know who they're messing with. Again, I am aware that I am not the master of the flow of combat, so I don't really... I have a little difficulty picking skills that roll off each other nicely, that there isn't a break. Oh yeah, now that was the point where she started hearing voices.
Master? Why do I hear your voice?
I obviously was as surprised as anyone, I guess, that this is my character speaking. I have no idea if it's... maybe they have one voice for all the women and one voice for all the men, but again, I haven't tested out this quest with anyone else. But I will, probably. I'm already thinking about what class I'm going to experiment with, but I'm still a bit away from that. So that little weird-looking portal opens, and I obviously go into it, and I'm magically transported to some sort of
That 78th move. Such a marvelous
This place.
play.
Master?
Oh, Un, you're here.
This place. What is all this?
The home of the Imperials. Shinyang.
Again,
Un, your time has
I have very little knowledge of Korean mythology, so what the hell is an Empyrean or Shinyang? I mean, I've watched enough Korean
What are you doing
shows,
here,
trailers in Netflix to recognize the architecture and the outfits, but other than that, I have no idea what they were talking about. What is Do?
Daughter? You call me that after everything you've done?
Funny here that the voices do not match the subtitles.
You came here without me?
Hey,
What?
wanna go again?
Ever the same. So your memories have returned.
Ah, the Heavenly Fox has joined us.
Wada, Giltham. These two are spitting images of your younger selves.
Yes,
Ah, is that
I can
so?
indeed see the resemblance.
Then,
Spitting
could
images,
the
she
Heavenly
says.
Fox teach our lowly apprentices a lesson.
On an empty stomach?
I've heard Byuk County's Dalle wine this year is exquisite.
The woman complains of an empty stomach and they offer her wine. Come on, man.
Oh, you two. You know me so well.
Meaning my reputation as a drunkard precedes me. Ooh,
Sometimes
teleporting.
The winding path is faster than the rocky slope.
There you
You
go.
two
Wisdom.
only see the mountains straight ahead.
Very, very
How
precious.
cute.
Excuse me?
Trying to teach us something?
Again, man,
Oh, little one.
it has its high points, but this dialogue mostly doesn't make any sense. I mean, it does make sense. Each sentence in isolation makes sense, but just doesn't, like, they're speaking not to each other, but to different people in different contexts, and not this one.
Words from a yogi.
A yoge. See? You yoge. I'm gonna learn Korean just for this. Now this was interesting because apparently the Wuza fights with you against the Heavenly Fox, but honestly I don't think she does any damage. At least I didn't notice it. See? That attack, maybe, okay, maybe it just wasn't reaching her. But this part of the quest is interesting, and I mean, it's something they could repeat in others in other parts of the game. Maybe they have, I just haven't reached them. But it was interesting having two characters fight alongside each other. Makes this feel a little more
Daughter,
alive.
the crack in your vessel is leaking your power.
See,
Once it is filled, your power will be without
the
equal.
crack in your vessel is leaking your power. Once it is filled, what is filled? Your power
That's what's
that is
happening
leaking the
now.
vessel? What?
This is where I go
Okay,
back
sorry,
to
I'm gonna shut up
this.
about the dialogue now, but it just, to me, it makes very little sense. But again, I'm not a native English speaker, so maybe it's just because I'm dumb. Sorry. Maegu casts time stop.
You finally met your inner self. Don't worry. I will always be beside you, watching over you. Now, show the Heavenly Fox your newfound power.
It's fans. So I think the Wuza and the Maegu basically just exchange weapons at this
I
point.
need the help of spirits.
I think that's what happens. I read it somewhere. I can't really tell what the Wuza is doing with the book, but
From the skies to the earth below. Only I shall remain standing.
From the skies to the earth below, only I shall remain standing. Now, not only does that not rhyme, it also doesn't follow.
Look at this mess you've made.
Okay, I'm gonna leave the dialogue alone now, but you get what I mean. Like, not doing this for the bands though, because if you are, you'd be disappointed. Yeah, oh yeah, this section I'd forgotten. You get to try out your little fans on this wooden doll,
Exactly what I'd expect from my
just to know what you're, you know, what you're expecting. But I gotta be honest, I still haven't put in any time at using the awakening form of the Maegu.
Udo's school's ways may be behind you, but
I've mostly practically only be using
I wish I'd known I could
succession.
great deed. You don't act like one.
I mean,
Why should I
yeah,
act
these two are sisters. Look,
like an older
look at the
sister
dialogue.
If you want to be treated like one.
Anyway, they just hate each other apparently. This is their father, I guess. Even though, again, the dialogue is a little hard to follow. But there you have it. This is the end of the Awakening quest. Now I'll be looking forward to try it out some more and showcasing it in future videos. But for now, this is the end. I hope you've enjoyed my little update on my trip throughout BDO. I hope that if you haven't tried the game already, I could encourage you to try it out. It's cheap, and you don't have to pay any more money than the one you pay to just buy the game. You can play the rest of the game without paying 1 cent. It's obviously a little harder, but you can do it. So, from me to you, have a good one. Thank you for stopping by. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see you next time. Until then, have a good week.